Hello, hello, this is Passion PO, exploring 7 Days to Die. Today we're going to look at a game that Pash and I started out with. It's one of our first games. Now, everybody has to ask themselves, when they play 7 Days to Die, what's the first order of business? Well, that's to create a first base, and this was ours. We took an existing structure, a passing gas, and we decided to go with spikes. Now, a couple reasons to go with wood spikes. They're easy to make, and they're great for experience. So all you gotta have to get this started is an axe and a lot of trees. So, as you can see, I kind of went crazy.
You
But
actually,
this particular...
it was your idea actually have a million spikes, not mine. Yeah.
Anyhow, after getting to level 17 or so and being able to make yellow materials and obviously start farming, we decided to build a tower. We came out here to the lake because it's a nice flat open surface, and Pash started working on her little garden here. And I decided to work on a tower. Now, I really like a pit defense. It doesn't require a wall. The zombies are very hesitant to go inside, and it's pretty easy to maintain. Now, we used this little post here to get up onto the base, and you notice that it's made out of cobblestone. Cobblestone is really sturdy and pretty easy to make. All you need is some sticks, some clay, and a whole lot of rocks. Now, the particular form of this tower, there used to be a ground floor, and we decided to fill it in because it really wasn't doing much for us. Now, when panning around, you notice that we put these lampposts out, just little pillars, so we can see in the distance. And we attached candles to them, and it gave us a nice, good view of approaching zombies. Now that pit is 3 units deep, and it's got a layer of spikes on the bottom, and then it's filled with water. Now, for the base of this particular structure, took a lot of trouble digging in and literally lining everything with cobblestone, so even if the zombies go in, it's really hard for them to come back out. Here across the lake, we're heading over to our little garage. All we did was chop the face off a building and destroy the insides so we could store the mini bikes.
The mini bike you never drive, right?
Yeah.
That I
Pastor
made.
likes mini bikes. I'm not so hot on the idea. I think the game still needs some work on these particular units. They don't turn well, the acceleration's spotty, and in multiplayer games with any kind of lag, sometimes you'll just fall through the ground. But they are another way of getting all around, and here we go. Now, we're
It's
following
me.
Pash here today, and she has this thing. She doesn't like pigs. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy.
Bacon
Say
and
hello to my little
eggs.
pig.
Bam.
Yeah, she likes bringing home the bacon. Anyhow, looking at the tower from the distance, it's nice and clear. It's I think it's a nice profile out on the lake too. Here's it at night. You can see the walls, the lights, they light up pretty well. I took this idea later, and I made a structure in one of our other videos in a creative mode building session. And I used this as a basis, but I used cement. I made a city in the sky. Check it out if you got the time. I think it looks pretty cool. Now, when you're heading around, the zombies, when they attack this kind of place, you'll notice that there's a dead one here on this side. That's because we put the railing up above, and we used the iron bars, and you can shoot right through it. So we were walking around and we shot it from above. Now the reason it's there is because the zombies really don't like these pits. They will wobble back and forth on the edge of the pit, and occasionally one will accidentally fall in.
They
But
didn't
it
like.
makes good targets.
Remember, they didn't like my garden.
Yeah, they got stuck on the garden too. I know the game developer doesn't like us building in water. I just did it because it was a nice flat surface. Now, I liked the railings that we could make, and on the tower, I know, you can just make a platform that goes all the way around, but I like putting up the metal siding as a wall because it helps against the cops vomit projectiles. It really does. I mean, you get shot at, and most of the time, since it's coming from below the angle, it'll just hit that railing and you're fine. Now, all of these items that we've got in here were items attained without using the cheat mode. This was just a regular playthrough that we did, but we had a little bit of fun here. Yeah, you can see that our inventory is organized. We've got a forge here, and most of the materials are up above.
Well, remember the zombies stopped coming too?
Yeah,
About the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, the zombies eventually seem to be broken here in this particular release. Eventually, they just stopped coming.
We abandoned this game as well, remember?
Yeah, well, we had to abandon this game at about day 49 because at day 42, the zombies just, well, they didn't show up anymore.
Well, it's day 65.
No zombies, no fun.
Well, it's day 65 there now, so...
Was it 42 or 49?
No,
doesn't matter. Anyhow, so this was the second building that we created in this particular game, and we actually got to it after we started mining, and I was getting all sorts of stone, and it was a sort of an experiment to see if we could use the cobblestone. And let me tell you, that stuff is durable.
There's no footage of our mine, but our mine was at the passing gas was where our initial first base was, and we decided to dig down into the pit.
Yeah, and we struck all sorts of materials. Kept us in bullets, I'll tell you that. Anyhow, so these windows here, I don't really like them. Hopefully future releases will give us something a little bit better. But this is the little house on top of our working area that Pash and I built. And I'm going to let Pash describe it, as she was the one that decorated.
Well, once again, it's a small house to decorate, and I did open the cheat menu to add a bookcase, some brass lanterns. Some of these items were garnered from loot runs, just in case if someone thought, oh, you're on cheat menu. No, the only cheat menu was used to get a few decorations, but other than that, it was played correctly and not in creative mode.
Girls and their pretty pretties.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I need a bigger house next time.
So next time, I guess we're going to have to build a bigger house. Looking at this particular place,
we're teleporting back.
Back to the spikes. Anyhow, the reason I like spikes so much is they're quick and easy to build, and they build your character's experience very quickly. You obviously chop logs. You get between 4 and 7 logs from any of these trees out here, and each of those logs can be turned into lumber, and then into sticks, and then from sticks into spikes. Now, as long as you've got about 3 rows of spikes, the really slow zombies, just the regular zombies, they're going to have a hard time getting to you. So getting 3 rows of spikes around here is perfectly doable by the time the first wave strikes.
I hated this place because it was just terrible. I hate seeing gore blocks everywhere.
Yeah, the spikes take a little bit of upkeep. But when you get along to the second and third waves, and you really can't use spikes like this beyond much past the third wave, is you just keep adding on to there. And once you get to the ability to make yellow or better equipment, and we're not going through and power leveling here, once you get that particular amount of equipment in, you can actually go and start exploring the game with a little bit more safety. Because before that, your character is really vulnerable. Now, we put a little forge, and we obviously did some customization here, just to move around. The building does all right, and I think we ended up with like 7 to 9 layers of spikes in total for most of the areas around this particular building, and that actually killed everything except the what are those other zombies called? Not the cops, but the
ferals.
The ferals. Yeah, it actually let the ferals through and killed everything else, which was perfect, because if you didn't know, ferals drop gun parts. If you like what you saw here today, please remember to like and subscribe. We appreciate it.